Hey guys, this is Kim, your podcast host from Trauma to Triumph. I'm here and I am talking about some real ish today. So basically real shit. So one of the things that I want to talk about is in my very, very first video, it was talking about, and this was even before I did all of these like cool videos. It was like one that I did on my phone in my car, and I talked about celebration. And I was talking about my daughter and how, she is really hard on herself and she has a little bit of a challenge with celebrating some of the work that she's done. So she just takes it and she accepts it for what it is, and she doesn't like go crazy over it, but she also, on the reverse side, ends up breaking herself down quite a bit. And so this is kind of a challenge for a lot of us, myself included. I'm definitely guilty of this. And it's really because it's the overachieving, the nothing's ever perfect, nothing's ever good enough type mentality that we really have to work around. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was how we go in and learn, right? So celebrating is a big deal because when you're getting started, and it's funny because I always get people who give me feedback, and to the point where even when I'm just getting started with these videos, like I have people who I absolutely love, absolutely respect, and they gave me videos right after, or feedback right after my first video, and I was like, shit. And I'm like, it's hard enough to be able to go in and put yourself out there, right? And so there's a time when you really should take in feedback, and there's a time when you really just need to guard yourself from it and just celebrate the fact that you've shown up. So this is probably a reminder to myself more than it is to you guys. But realistically, what it comes down to is understanding that, when you just do it, when you just go through the motions, regardless of how fucking freaked out you are, or how scared you are, like that's enough. And let it be that. Just let it be that. And then after you've done it a few times, taking that criticism, taking that constructive criticism and own it and understand it and know that it's a great tool for you to learn from. But you have to give yourself the grace to actually learn what that process looks like before you go and you criticize the hell out of yourself and tell yourself that you're not good enough and scare yourself away from ever doing it again, because that is not the goal, right? The goal is to learn. The goal is to do and to be able to get comfortable with it. So it's really funny because I remember with one of my coaches, he ended up coaching a bunch of women who came in for their very first time, and he asked me to come in and help out, and I was like, oh yay, I get to come in and help out, right? And so it was really awesome. And I had this one girl that I was working with, and she was just trying to perfect her jab, and she was trying to perfect all these things, and I was giving her feedback, and my coach got on and he's like, no, just let her do it. And I was like, okay, but she's asking. And I'm like, now I'm like, oh, that lesson registers. I get why you have to do that, because a lot of times we stop ourselves in the process of learning. We stop the flow. We break it up. We apologize for not getting it right. And it's funny because another thing that one of my old coaches taught me was that you need to stop apologizing for when you're learning, because there's no way that you're going to know, right? So give yourself the ability to learn and to be able to do it with grace and to be able to do it in a place that allows you to make those mistakes and know that it's part of learning. So my helpful tip for the day, hopefully that resonates. And if it does, feel free to comment in the links below. I would love to hear from you and what you're going through and some of your thoughts on this topic. Thanks for sticking around, and I will look forward to seeing you guys at the next episode.